Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Wherever you are joining us from, you're welcome to the June 2024 webinar series organized by the Hope Nation Entrepreneurial Foundation. It's such an honor to have you here, and we believe this is going to be a moment of insight. Our guest is already on board, and it's such an honor to have you on board, Ma. Welcome, Ma.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so very much for coming right on time. I wouldn't want to waste so much of our time. A brief introduction. This is Hope Nation Entrepreneurial Foundation. We are given to helping business build lasting enterprises, and it's an honor to have you here. The theme of today's webinar series is Starting Small, Growing Big. Our guest speaker is the mom-in-chief of Baby Drops Nigeria. She's going to share her story with us. She started from the kitchen, and now she has gone global. She has operation within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. And it's such an inspiring story to us as one foundation. So we want her to share her story with us today and offer us useful insights on starting small but growing big, sustaining a business and keeping its relevance over a period of time. Such an honor to have you on board today. And once again, you're welcome, ma. Right away, I'm not sure. Is this my executive director on board? All right. Since I can't get any response, I'm just going to move straight up to read the bio of our guest speaker today, and we'll dive straight in. We don't plan to waste any of our time today. We just want to dive straight in so that we can get enough time to really glean from our guest speaker as we learn one or two things from her. So this is the right. Okay, so this is the bio of Sheon Shongoleye, the mom-in-chief and CEO of Baby Grubs Nigeria. I'll read the bio to us as we can see it on my screen. Sheon Shongoleye is an award-winning entrepreneur, nutrition educator, and manufacturer of packaged infant meals and snacks. She is the founder of Baby Grubs Nigeria, a social enterprise based in Lagos, Nigeria, with operations in Ghana and in the United Kingdom. Sheon has spoken on notable platforms such as the World Bank's Food Tech Innovations and the annual convention of the Nigerian Women Association of Georgia, Atlanta. She holds a bachelor's degree in computer science from Lagos State University, programming for infant and young child feeding at Cornell Nutrition works in conjunction with UNICEF, business and entrepreneurship training from Clark Atlanta University, and social sector management from Par Atlantic University, Lagos. Her passion for child nutrition has led her to publish ebooks on the subject as well as provide online mentoring to over 350,000 Nigerian mothers across her social media platforms. Sheon lives in Lagos, Nigeria, raising her three children who are inspiration for all of our work. She is dedicated to bringing healthy eating options to families around the world through Baby Grubs Nigeria, so that all children can have access to nutritious meals that will help them grow into healthy individuals. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome our guest speaker as she takes our preliminaries? Thank you so very much. Such an honor to see you in person, ma. All right.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Say that again. Tolu?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said you can go on now, ma'am.
Great. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Good evening. Thank you so much to One Foundation for always inviting me to your very wonderful programs. I am happy to serve, and it's a privilege to be here today. Thank you so very much. So mostly what I'll be doing is sharing my story of how I started Baby Grubs and where it is today. I started Baby Grubs a few years ago. Baby Grubs will be 11 years this year. And so I'll tell you my story of how I started small and where we are now. We are still growing, right? And so that is our topic for today. Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen, ma'am.
Great. All right, thank you. So I'll first of all say that you should give yourself a pat on the back for starting a business. It is not an easy thing to do. It is not for the faint at heart. It is only the strongest people that I know that do this. So well done to you. Congratulations for starting your own business. All right. So who am I? From everything you said, I've just summarized it. I am a young child feeding expert. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur. I am an agri-food consultant. I speak, and I am a child of God. That's everything about me, really. So before we start, I would say we should do just a 5-second pop quiz. Tolu, you be my eyes on this, right? Because this is interactive. And so it's just for 5 seconds, and then you tell me the answers that people have. It's a very short pop quiz. Are we ready? Tolu, are you ready?
Yes, ma. I'm ready,
Okay.
ma.
All right then. So you tell me how many Fs you can see here, and I'll count down now. How many letter F? F for fish. How many letter F can you see? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm not
0.
sure I can see any.
Oh, geez. Okay, I'll give you another 5 seconds. 5, 4,
No, you've left
3.
the slide, ma.
Yes, this is the slide, the one with the blue. Finish
Okay,
files
okay,
are.
okay.
Can you see it?
All right, I can see it now.
So how many letter Fs are there? I'll count again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, 3. I can see 3.
Okay. Are you very sure?
Yes, I can see 3.
There are actually 6.
Wow.
Yeah, there's actually 6 there. You can count again. Finished 1, files 2, off 3, off again 4, scientific 5,
Okay.
off 6. So the idea behind this is there are the things I'll be sharing tonight are not things that are new. There are things that you probably see every day. You come across it all the time, but it just doesn't sink in or you don't realize it. So all I'm going to do is just to help you realize or see things from my own perspective, so that you understand better, right? So it's not anything new. It's not something that you don't know, right? So let's continue. So we've established that there are 6 letter F. So yeah, I'll talk about 2 types of growth. Because we are talking about growth tonight, right? There are 2 types of growth. When we see a tree growing, we only see the ones outside. We are not very aware of the other parts that is growing downwards. There are 2 types of growth. There's the phototropic growth, the one that we see, and the geotrophic growth that is under the soil. And that is how we should grow as people. We should not even try to say we want to grow just so that everybody sees that our business is flashy and is doing wonderfully well. It can only thrive and survive for the longest time if we have sunk our roots deep. So most of what I'll be sharing with us tonight are the deep stuff. They are the theoretical stuff, and they are stuff that are going to help you truly to grow and to thrive, which is what you want to do. You want to last. And like we Christians, we Yoruba say that when things happen and you say you are better than others, we are not saying that their own is bad, but it's because of the grace of God and other things. There are so many people that will start a business together that are no more in business because of certain factors, because of Nigeria, because of the economy and different stuff. So, but if we grow ourselves internally, we will be able to withstand the storm. I just wanted to establish that as we go, that the theory is as important as the practical, right? So one of the questions I like to ask anyone before we start is, if you want your business to grow, how big do you want it to grow? You have to define what growth means to you. Does growth mean you want to be quite good? And if we say we want to be quite good, probably if you want to be the best in, say, Victoria Island, you are not extending all over Lagos, for example. You just want to be the best in Victoria Island where you are, or you want to be the best in Ikeja, which is not bad at all. If you have defined that is the scope of your growth, it's all well and good, but you need to define the scope of your growth. So it's either you want to be quite good, or you want to be good, or you want to be very good, or you want to be the best in your field, or you want to be the best in the world. So whatever level of growth you desire, it's just define it. That's the most important thing. So there's nothing bad to say that you want to be in the middle or you want to be. It will help you when you're making business decisions and you understand as we grow, right? So, so for me, when I started my business, this was the image I had in mind. In fact, almost everybody that knows me knows this picture, especially people that are my WhatsApp status, because I always put it up. It inspires me. And I will challenge you to say that whatever level of growth that you seek in your business, look for a picture that looks like it and put it where you can see it every single day. It can be in your phone wallpaper, it can be in your bedroom, in your car. Just put it all around you so that it inspires that growth for days when you are down, right? So I'll talk briefly about the baby growth journey. And I've categorized our journey into three levels. So baby growth started in the year 2013, and I never started because I was a nutritionist or because I had a background in food or nutrition. I started because I was a mom who wanted to feed her child. So my first degree is in computer science, and I've worked in computing industry in hardware actually, and a little bit of software for 5 years prior to having my son. And so I was on leave at work, and I was going back to work, and my son refused to take all the foods that I bought. And so that was what actually inspired me to start. But when I started researching, I discovered there was no made in Nigeria baby food. That was one. I also discovered that Nigerian children were dying from nutrition-related illnesses. Even my son developed rickets. And I realized that it was in the food. It needed balanced diet. And so for me, it was important that not just my child will eat balanced diet, but all other children that I come across in everywhere that I go. And so I became somewhat of a baby food evangelist. And then I started to go. And I knew that this was something I wanted to do as a business. So the first thing I did was that I enrolled myself. I took a study leave from work. I didn't quit my job just like that. I took a study leave from work and I went to school. I went to business school. I went to EDC. The EDC then was sponsored by Central Bank. We paid a very minimal fee to enroll. And it was one of the best things that happened to me in my life. And I want to implore any entrepreneur, anyone that thinks of going into business, to please go to business school, get educated. Because when we finish secondary school and we decide, oh, this is what we want to do with our lives, we go to school, we go to university. So why don't you do that as an entrepreneur? Because you need to validate your business idea. You need to know how to profile your customers. You need to know to do some market research. You need to know all the people in your ecosystem and how you engage them. You need to know so many things, your numbers, how you read the numbers, what numbers matter. And so these are the things that are important, and you must go to business school. So in the first 4 years, I call that period home. And that was the part where I was trying different things. I was making the foods. I was getting people to taste it and try it. I was making sure that people like the product, and they liked the product. But then there was a problem with scale. We couldn't scale. And that was when I knew that if I wanted to grow this business to the next stage, we need to pivot. And so we pivoted from freshly made foods to dried foods. That was the first thing that we did. And one of the things that I did also was to map out different things that I wanted to accomplish. I said I wanted everybody that mattered in the food industry to know my name, to know who I am in the first 5 years. And I set to work. And so this was one of the things that I did. I was seeking opportunities. I was being resourceful with my cash. I wasn't taking Uber, I was taking local transport and everything just to make sure that I stretched my revenue and my profits as much as I could. And so fortunately, I got a very interesting opportunity. I got an opportunity to go to the US from the very first, in the first 4 years. But I was expecting to win a grant. I didn't get the grant. And so that led to the second growth stage for Baby Grubs. I knew that, okay, fine, we didn't get this grant. How can I be more resourceful? So while I was in the US, all the stipends that was being given, I wasn't spending it all. I was drinking Gary and eating a bar. And sometimes I will eat once a day just so that I can bring back those dollars and use it to buy equipment to grow my business. And so I came back, and that was one of the first things I did. And so I moved away from my kitchen. I was in my kitchen for the first 2 years. And the next 2 years, we got a 3-bedroom flat, and my family was in one of the rooms. The other rooms were for baby girls. And when you come in, you actually think it's an office space. Nobody knew that there was a family residing in that space as well. And so from there, I saved my money. I rented an apartment. I did it to the level, what's the word now? To the level that NAFDAC wanted it to be. I did it. It was perfect. I registered for NAFDAC. We got all our numbers. Said, okay, this is good. And so during that period, I was still raising my family alongside. And we rebranded again because now the market, the product was getting into larger markets and people were requesting for more things. And so when we started, it was just Nigeria focused. And in fact, in the first 4 years, we were able to reach 20 of the 30 states. And in the next 4 years, we started growing. And I knew that, okay, we wanted to expand to West Africa, and we started exporting. One of the first places we went to was Togo. We had a large following in Togo. We did French labels for our products, and it was really receptive. We're also exporting to Ghana. And over time, it started growing and growing. We got more opportunities, we got more grants, and we're expanding the business one equipment at a time. And in 2020, I got another really interesting opportunity. And from getting that opportunity, at that time, the next 4 years, we were already putting together what we wanted to do for the next 5 years. And so we started our 5-year project. And in our 5-year projects, we have left even where we rented. We have bought our own property. We have 3 buildings in our property. We are currently building a purpose-built factory. We have imported machines of different grades that are semi-automated, that are taking our foods to another level. So it's been years and years of consistent growth over time. So we'll do another 5-second pop quiz. Tolu, are you still there? Confirm that you can hear me. Hello? Tolu has left us. Okay, we go on. I'll just ask you to think, what do you think my favorite number is? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 6? Well, I won't stress you. My favorite number is 3. And that's because it's easy to remember things when they are in threes. It's a magic number as far as I am concerned. So if I say there are 3 things I want to tell you, it sticks better in your memory, right? So I'll tell you 3 things. How do you know it is time to grow your business from one level to the other? When you're in a particular level, how do you know it's time for you to move to another level? It's very easy. There are 3 things that typically point to your next level of growth. Number 1, market demand. Number 2, operational capacity. And number 3, financial stability. And I will explain what it means. When it comes to market demand, the market will ask you things. They will be requesting things from you, such as we need these products more and more. So, for example, if you stock a supermarket and you put maybe 10 of your products in that supermarket, and typically you sell it in maybe 2 weeks, but they now start selling that 10 products in 1 week. You can tell that there's increased demand in the market, right? So that's one of the pointers to grow, meaning that you need to add more. I mean, that's no-brainer, right? And then number 2 is operational capacity. So in the past, if it takes, what's the word now? If you have 1 staff and then the staff is able to handle all the orders every day, it will get to a point where you need 2 more staffs to handle the orders because the orders are too much. There were times in the past, maybe it's just 1 bike that comes to pick our products. But then we got to a point in time where we had 7, 8 bikes waiting to carry orders, and there were so many orders, sorting out the orders like it was a sea of orders. So it means that it's time to expand. It's time to move from your current stage or your current space to another level. And then you also can tell how much money you're making when your income is regular and is steady you can tell that it has capped and you need to push through to another level, right? Those are pointers to growth. for you to grow to the next level of your business. So what do you need to grow? That's the next question that you ask, right? So there are three things also that you need to grow, right? Number one, you have to have a strong foundation. You have to build your business, and you have to employ some strategies that will help you to grow your business. And I'll explain further, right? Don't forget three things: a strong foundation, building and working on the business, not I will explain when we get there. Right, let's go. So I know it sounds boring currently, but don't worry, you'll get it. I know it can be really, really boring, but it's important. You know, the image I shared with you earlier to tell you that you need to grow theoretically before you can grow practically. Okay. So this is the foundation. The foundation is very important. I know several times and a couple of times, entrepreneurs are asked, what is your vision? What is your mission? What is your what are your core values? What are your goals? What's the strategy? What are your all this sounds like jargon, right? But I'll make it relatable for you very soon, because I will share with you what mine looks like and why that is a driving force for growth in my business, right? This is very important. So it's important for you to know your passion, your purpose for doing that business, because if it is not clear to even you, how can your employees even understand, right? How can you live building your business, working on your business daily if you don't have a goalpost? It's just like when you're on the field, right? And like a football field, there's 11 players on both sides, but there's no goalpost. It doesn't make sense, right? Yeah, so that's what the foundation does. And I'll explain it to you using baby grubs. So for us, our vision is simple. We want to be the leading multinational company producing nutritious African baby foods for children. The leading multinational company producing nutritious African baby foods for children. Simple. Then how do we want to do it? We want to transform the way, why do we want to do it? To transform the way African babies are fed and support their optimal growth by reducing malnutrition through nutrition education, innovation, and the consistent production of best quality, nutrient-dense, wholesome baby food. So we know where we are going. We know why we are doing it. So what are our core values? If we want to be a multinational company, it means that our quality must be top-notch. That one is a no-brainer. So your core values come from your vision and your mission, right? It means that our products, it means that everything we do, there must be excellence in it, right? Because if we are doing nonsense in Ikeja, how can we grow to cover the entire Lagos? How can we grow to cover entire Nigeria? Talk more of exporting to foreigners in the United Kingdom. Excellence must be there. We must be innovative. They've not seen this before. We tell them, oh, our baby food has egusi. And they say, what's egusi? I say, it's sort of like pumpkin seeds, but it's even higher in nutrition quality. It is XYZ. And of course, you'll be interested in saying, woo, why is there baby food? Why is there egusi in baby food? That is innovation. Customer service is fantastic and all of that. So you see our vision, our mission, our values. And you can see that that pyramid is sitting solidly, because you need to know all of this to have a solid foundation. Our goals will come from our vision and our mission. So if we want to be the leading, it means that we must, one of our goals, this is just one of our goals, we must be top 10 wherever we are, because we say we want to be leading, right? So if we are leading, we must not just top 10, top 3, right? If we are saying we are top 10 Nigeria or top 3 in Africa or number 1 in the world. So if you are leading, you must constantly make sure that you are on top of your game. And so if you want to be on top of your game, and we say we want to be multinational, okay, well, one of our strategic objectives, since we say we want to be multinational, expand to 5 countries, right? You can see how they are all intertwined and interlinked, right, and connected. And so our action plan will be broken down into different departments in the organization. So for example, for admin departments, they have to hire the best hands. They have to make sure that the equipment, the person in charge of admin also doubles as facility manager. They must make sure that everything is 100% at all times, so that everybody can do exactly what they need to do. We hire the best hands in production departments. Even poach from other companies to be sure that, we have the best people doing the best things for our business. So you must have this pyramid for your business. That's the foundation. If you are not clear on this foundation, you can't grow. You can't grow any business. You will just be, nitpicking at different things, right? And if you are building your business, you have to start small. You have to start small. You can see that guy that is trying to still, how many, 1, 2, 3, fourth base or fifth base, and going up the stairs. It will be very hard, and it can tumble. It can tear a muscle or anything while doing that. The benefits of starting small is that you keep on changing. You are not sure which products your customers will like. You don't want to get into markets with ready-made products and people don't like it. So you have to start lean. And if you fail or you fall, you know exactly the steps that got you to where you are. You won't start from all over again from scratch, right? And that's the benefit. Even if you have to start from scratch, you know your way back up, right? So that's one of the benefits of starting small. You minimize your risk and you are able to learn the ropes as clearly as possible. And then you take your customers' feedback and what people are saying to quickly, build on your business and your products, and it gets better and better. And you are able to communicate with people clearly. Your customer interaction is very good when you are starting small. You know everybody that is buying your product. You're able to speak with them. They're able to give you good feedback that you won't have. Like now that we are big and famous, right? We still have a feedback process. But unlike in the past where, you know your customers by name, right? You need to do that. You enjoy that when your business is small. And one of the things that will help you grow, number one, is you can scale your operations, right? So you can decide, I'm producing only one variant. I want to produce 5 more variants. So if you have a shop where you're selling rice, you now want to start selling beans. You also now want to start selling things that people want alongside the rice, right? Or things like that. And then when you are growing too, another way you can grow is you can streamline your operations, which is one of the things that we do at Baby Grubs. A lot of what we do is outsourced. We focus on our focus. And it's one of the things I say, focus on your focus to my people. We outsource our social media, we outsource our accounting, we outsource so many things. The lab, our nutritionist outsourced, just so that we can focus on what matters to us, what we are best at, which is producing the best, most nutritious food. And so we focus on our focus. You can do that to help you grow. And you will get excellent results, unlike when you are chasing after some stars and saying, oh, you've not given me a report, you've not done this and X, Y, Z. You get quality service and it helps you grow really fast, right? And you can leverage technology, you can leverage automation as you grow, right? And then some other ways that you can grow is by expanding. And that's one of the things we do. We started by selling to customers one-on-one. We started having distributors. From distributors, we started stocking local supermarkets. From local supermarkets, we started stocking national supermarkets. From national supermarkets, we started exporting. And from exporting, we have increased our capacity and we are doing open markets, right? So those are ways you can grow in bits, and you can move to other markets, move to other cultures, you move to new territories. Don't think that one state is where your market is. There's markets everywhere. In fact, I just got back from the Northeast. There's a huge market anywhere in different places. One of the things that is most important for growing your business, and I like to say this, you can see that I have Soja's image on the slide, and that's how your team should be. If you are going to war and you know it's a deadly war that you can get killed, will you take a soldier that has no experience, or will you take a teenager, or will you take a toddler? You want to go with somebody you know can cover you. You can see somebody is covering on the left, somebody is covering on the right, so that if there are enemies coming from that side, those people are firing. If there's from the back, those people at the back are firing as well. And that is how your team should be. It should be strong. In fact, if possible, stronger than you, so that you know that your business is growing and your business is in safe hands at all points in time. And so you hire the right people, you identify key roles and responsibilities, especially the ones that you as the business owner are weak at, and hire people that can cover up for you in those areas, right? And then you find them, you retain them, and look for a style that you can, a leadership style. So everybody's leadership styles are different. And also depending on the type of staffs that you have, it's just like when you're a parent with children, you find a way to incentivize them, coach them, mentor them to get them to where you want them to be. And you as a business owner as well, you need to continue to grow, to develop, to learn more, because the more you know, the more your organization grows. There's a saying that I saw, a quote, that unlike when the stomach is empty, you know, you feel hunger. But when the brain is empty, you don't know. But to avoid that as a business owner, you continue to educate yourself day in, day out, right? So how do you know that you're growing? I also love this quote, that's why I put it here. It says that what is not defined cannot be measured. What is not measured cannot be improved. And what is not improved will degrade. So if you want to grow, if you don't want your business to degrade, you have to define what success is to you, what growth is to you. For me and my business, and yours can be different, there are 3 things that I measure every year, actually, day in, day out. And we started this in 2018, and that has been our focus till date. We only grow in 3 ways. I told you 3 is my magic number. We grow in cash flow, we grow in capacity, and we grow in customer base. So every year, every month, every quarter, we are measuring how has our cash flow improved, how has it grown, how has our capacity grown. Are we still producing 2 tons, or we are able to produce 20 tons now? And our customer base, has it grown, has it increased from 5,000 per month to 10,000 per month? So those are the things we track. Yours can be different depending on your line of business. And I think also any line of business, really, these are really good growth indicators that you want to define, and then you measure. So when you measure and you see that a particular number is falling short, you can improve on it. And if you don't improve on it, that's when you know you're not growing. So if you want to grow your business, you have to define your own growth indicators. What is peculiar to you? Is it the number of states that you go to? Is it the number of clients? Whatever it is, whatever that means to you, you must have 3 things that you measure every month, every quarter, every half year, so that at the end of the year, you know how well you're doing and you track your growth for time. Now, growing is very, 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 very difficult. I know it sounds super easy the way I've been saying it, but one of the best things, one of the gifts that you can give yourself is the gift of consistency. Just be consistent. Don't try to do too much at a time. 1 drop per day makes a lot of difference. There's something one of my former bosses said. He said, is a rock stronger than water, or is the water stronger than the rock? Obviously, we'll say the rock is stronger than the water, right? But he says, no, water is stronger than the rock, because if water drops every single day on a rock, one day that water, that singular drop that drops every day, will go deep and deep and deep until it breaks through the rock. And that is how growing your business should be. Just be consistent. Are there going to be challenges? Oh yes, plenty of challenges. So one of it is failures or rejections or setbacks, right? It can be betrayals even from your staff. It can be anything from, it can be fire, it can be burglary, it can be theft, it can be staff just disappear on you, or you're not making sales, something is wrong somewhere, right? There are lots of things that can pull you back. But don't think of them as failures. Think of them as learning opportunities. I'll give you a very good example of something that happened. And it was a good thing that it happened when baby girls were still in my kitchen. So we had 2 kegs, and one of the kegs was unlabeled. And then I didn't have water. And I assumed that it was water that was in one, but it was not water. And it was petrol. And so I was pouring out the water, but instead of pouring out water, it was petrol. And petrol was expensive then too. And I just started crying because I didn't have a lot of money. And all of the money that I had was, I'd used it to buy that petrol. And I wasted the petrol. And I was just crying. I think I cried for hours that night. But one of the things I learned immediately when I woke up, I labeled all the kegs. We had different color codes for the kegs, and it still helps us till today, right? In our facility, even though it's not keg, it's even it's drums that we used to store. We have different color codes. There's color codes for raw materials. There's color code for materials that have been worked on, maybe cleaned. There's a color code for that. There's a color code for but essentially, I learned from that mistake, and that's how you want to approach all of your challenges. You learn from them, and they will help you, right? And resilience is something that we have no choice. And there's a popular question that people ask, that how are you able to cope with challenges? You can't cope, you just adapt. Yeah, well, it's essentially the same thing. You adapt to the changing landscape, you adapt to the economy, you adapt to the season, even the weather. All of these things are things that you just learn to adapt to. There's no textbook answer to this. There's no right or wrong answer to this. It's just for you to figure out what works for you in whatever situation you find yourself. But you have to keep on going. You must be resilient, like that drop of water. You must not stop. Just take it one step at a time, right? And then also try to maintain a work-life balance. One of the things, looking back, one of the things that was the most dangerous for me as a business person was the fact that I wasn't resting enough. I was just going. And there were times when I would just collapse. In fact, there were 2 times I collapsed totally from exhaustion. There was nothing, all kinds of tests was done, but I was super exhausted, and I get burnt out easily. And it's the nature of my personality. So consciously, I take out time to relax. I take out time to hang out with my kids, to go for maybe pedicure, manicure, things that make me happy. Go see a movie, because entrepreneurship can be, it can swallow you if you're not careful. It can take everything that you have. And, it's your life savings, it's your life's work. And so there's a tendency for it to affect your mental health. So please try to have good work-life balance if possible. I know growth is not fun. I know sharing is not fun. And I've been trying my best to, cover as much as I can in the record time, so that we have some time for question and answers. I saw this quote during the week and I loved it. It says, you can either go through the pain of transition or the pain of stagnation. Choose your pain. Everything is painful. Everything is not easy. There's nothing easy at all. So if you want to grow, you have to decide that you want to grow. So now that you've listened to me and I've shared so much with you, I want you to analyze where you are currently. So you take a piece of paper and your pen and say, where am I in my business? What are the biggest challenges that I have? Just choose the top 3. Like I said, 3 is the magic number. What are the 3 biggest challenges that you currently have? You write it down. Where would you rather be? What would the ideal state be? If I was to wave a magic wand over those big 3 challenges, what would your wishes be? You write it down. That would be your desired state. So on one column, you have current state, and the other column, you have desired states. You write them down, right? And then you now look at it. What are the steps that I need to take to get from point A to B? And when you get from point A to point B, you now develop an action plan to help you get there, right? If you need help, I'm sure you can speak to the coordinators of One Foundation. They can help you with mentoring. They can help you with coaching, for you to be able to bridge that gap and grow from where you are to where you desire to be. In closing, I saw this other quote that I also love. It says, 6 months of focus and hard work can put you 5 years ahead in life. Just 6 months. You want to focus on one thing, just like that drop of water, focused on breaking the rock. In fact, every single year, I only have one focus, one thing I want to accomplish every single year. And you are able to accomplish it because it's just one thing. And you keep focusing on that one thing. Keep hammering on that one thing. And you will get it. If you can only focus and put in the hard work, you'll get it So don't underestimate the power of consistency and your desire. It is definitely, definitely worth it. So I'm sure you have questions, and at this point in time, I would pause to take your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. This has really been really engaging. Thank you very much for the useful insights you have shared with us. It's beautiful. Like the case of the rock and the water is super amazing, super big. All right. So I'm checking on the YouTube platform. I've not seen a question yet, but I guess I'll just start. When they drop any question, we will attend to it. But you have a lot of feedback coming in from the chat. People saying this is good, and you've really done well for us today, Ma. Thank you so very much. I'm just going to start off with this question while we await other questions from our guests and our audience on the YouTube. All right. So, Ma, exactly at what point do you know? Different businesses go through different different phases. Yes, there is a phase, just like you mentioned, there's a phase where you do this, there's a phase where you have to do that. At what point exactly should a business, like, at what point exactly should a business swerve? What I mean is, okay, this is something you've been doing. You are not changing your focus,
Mhm.
but there is a different way you need to deliver your product to your audience. You have to change your strategy, you have to change the branding. Yes. So at what point should a business do that? What should be the indicators that will show that you are ready for that transition, for that change of product, change of branding style, change of languaging, change of strategy? At what point should you do that, man? Thank you very much, man.
You're welcome. Thank you. That's a fantastic question, by the way. And I will answer you based on my experience with baby grabs. So when I started, the products, it was in a nylon actually, nylon, and it was not sealed because I was just passionate. I didn't have a label. It was transparent bag, and so I would take the nylon and roll it around and staple it because I didn't have a sealing machine. But people were buying because they loved me and they loved the products and they loved what I was teaching. But then they started asking, so somebody said, I saw a staple pin in my baby's food. This thing is not safe. And then sometime later, somebody said, why don't you seal it? The customers will give you feedback. That's essentially number one. Market demand. Market will always tell you. Customers will tell you. And that's how number one way that you know that, oh, it's time for another level. Customers will always tell you. There's always that feedback. And then something else can tell you your numbers. If you have projected that, okay, this year we want to double our revenue, but your revenue is going back, is reversing instead of going forward, talk less of doubling, then you know that there's something wrong. And then you start to do your research. What am I doing wrong? What do I need to improve upon? So, which is why I said those the three things that will point you to a level of growth is number one, your market. The market will tell you. They will demand things from you. It might be in quality, it might be in size, it might be in even in accessibility of your products. The market will demand, and you want a product that is the demand is great, right? And it's one of the things I tell people, that you want to drive demand for your product. You want your product to be hot cake. It's one of the ways that you know that you are growing. And also your operational capacity. You would know that, okay, well, maybe in the past we use a particular raw material. It lasts us 1 month. Now we finish it in 1 week. you know that there's increased need for it. But when people will definitely give you feedback. That's the surest way to it. Surest way. And if they don't give you feedback, you will notice that your numbers are either going up or they are dropping. Thank you.
Okay, ma, thank you so much for that. All right. So from what you said, you should consider feedback from your customer and you should look at your numbers. That's so profound. All right, one question. There is no question yet for you on the YouTube platform. I just checked. All right, so another question I want to ask is around the people that work with you. Around the people that work with you, it's very important that you pay attention to those people. Now, how do you manage? Because I know businesses, you cannot start and then begin to pay the people that
Yeah.
work with you. You
Yeah.
definitely will start with people that love you, volunteers, and you can scale to people that you begin to pay. That's how we started at One Foundation. We started off with volunteers and then we had paid staff. Okay. So I want to know at what point, how do you manage volunteers? I'm more concerned about volunteers now because it is easy to pin down someone that you are paying to do the right thing. But here is someone that just does it probably for the passion or because he just likes you or just likes your product or just want a name for him or for himself or herself to be part of your growing up. How do you manage those volunteers to ensure that they are moving at the pace you want them to move so that they do not drag down your production process? Because just like you said, there is a place where you begin to need more staff strength because you just cannot do everything by yourself again. You just need that second hand, you need that third hand, you need someone to manage the finances, but you can't start off with people that you pay. You need to start off with people like volunteers. So how do you manage these people to keep them on your toe, to ensure that they have volunteers, but they are working in such a way that they do not impede your growth process? How do you manage that, man?
Very intelligent question. Thank you. So when I started, my major volunteers were my family members. My cousin was my biggest volunteer. God bless her. So I was even out of the country for a while, and she managed the business excellently. So for her, I didn't need to say so much. She knew what was at stake, right? And so she performed excellently. But when I had other volunteers that were not my family members, it helps to help them see the vision, which is why you define your vision clearly and they understand why you are doing it. We are a social enterprise. And for us, it's not just about the profits, it's about the children. Are they healthy? Are they thriving? We give them nutrition, basic nutrition education. And so when we tell them the stats, we help them to understand what is actually going on the field and why this is important, why this goes beyond profits, why your little contribution goes a long way. It helps for you to sell them the story, to help them understand why you do what you do. So that's one of the ways, sell it to them. And also for everyone, everybody wants to know what's in it for me, right? And then you help them understand that when you volunteer, it goes into your CV. It's not just free work. It's still you're acquiring knowledge. You're acquiring a lot of knowledge and skill while you're working with us. You're learning negotiation skills. You're learning communication skills, both the hard and the soft. And so all of this will go into your CV. It will come in handy when you are moving on to a regular job, a 9 to 5. So we have them understanding that this is what is in it for you. We even write you glowing recommendation if you need us to. So those are one of the ways that you carry them along. Let them understand the vision, why it is you do what you do, the idea behind it, and why, what the driving force is. And then also tell them what they can get, what's in it for them. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ma. So we should help them understand the vision and we should help them to know that there is something in it for them beyond
Exactly.
the monetary part. All right.
Yes.
So there's a question for you on YouTube, Ma. The question is, kindly help with softwares and apps you engaged to grow. Yeah. So that's
That's
the
a very good
question.
one. That's a very good one. So when you say grow in what areas? Because I mentioned different areas where you can grow. Uh, Let me see. Maybe this would help. Um, so it depends. It depends. So there's so many things. If you're talking about apps, places where you can put software in your business to help you grow, you can be in your processes. Um, so it can be as simple as WhatsApp. You can set up a system where your staffs can see what's going on, or you disseminate information easily and fast. That's a simple way. You can have orders. You can also use apps to aggregate your orders or collect your orders. Some of the easy ways that you can do this, you can use Shopify, you can use Equid, you can host your store online virtually on them. Even banks now, I know GTR Squad, I know there's Flutterwave, there's Paystack, where you can have an online store actually. And I don't think they are paid, they are free. You can use them for free. So when people want to buy your products online, you just send them a catalog. You can even use WhatsApp Business as a catalog. So I'll mention the other ones: Flutterwave, Paystack. Those are local ones that we know. There's Shopify. There's Equid. Um, there's Squad by GT. Yeah. So those are the ones that I know locally that you can use to as e-commerce, right? Um, Other areas of growth might also be something to capture customers' data. You also want to capture your customers' data. It can be demographics. It can be by what's this one? It can just be names and emails and phone numbers. It can be age or whatever. So you can have what's it called now? I can't remember what they call them. So example is Aweber. That's what I use, or MailChimp. You can use it to capture your customers' data. So when they visit your website or they visit your Instagram, you can tell them sign up for our newsletter. So it's something that we use to send our newsletter, and it captures all of their data. So they give us their names and their emails and their phone numbers, so we can push mails to them, we can push notifications to them, we can tell them what we're doing. If we have a promo, if we have things, those are softwares that you can use. The one I use, or we use at Baby Robs, is called Aweber. There's also MailChimp, which is also very popular. And there are so many others. Another software I know that you can use, you can also use, what's it called now? Um, uh, So it's a system that helps you with your inventory. So it tells you exactly what you have in your raw materials, but those ones they're not free, they're paid. They can be pricey. Although there's a new one we just want to adopt that is not as pricey. The one we use is ERPRV. So it takes stock of everything that you have. If you are someone that has large stock, maybe you are buying clothes from Turkey or China or whatever, or you are selling shoes and you have large inventory and you need to manage them. So you will need a system, an inventory control system that can do that. So there's also one that is local that I want to try. It's called Boss Drive. We're just adopting it. So you can look it up online. There's Boss Drive and there's ERPRV. That's also a Nigerian one. I've used ERPRV, but we are moving to another one, which is the Boss Drive. So those are the basic softwares I can think of for your inventory, for your newsletters and getting your customers profile and details, for e-commerce. Um, what else do we use softwares for? Let me see. I think that's basically it. Yeah, e-commerce, inventory management, customer data management. Yeah, that's basically what we do with software, and those are the softwares that we use.
All right, man. Thank you so very much, man.
So one more that I forgot to mention.
Okay.
So you also want to capture insights of buying habits of your customers. Some of these, oh, sorry, that's my time, and so I don't exceed my time. So there's one that also, like Shopify and Equid, it can tell you your customers' buying data. It gives you insights on how they buy from you, how who buys what, and how often they buy. It shows you your trends, so you can use those for that.
All right, man. Thank you so very much for
You're welcome.
all this insight. It's really been amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So I'm still scanning around for questions from the
Okay.
YouTube session. Okay. There are no questions at the moment. Yes, there are no questions at the moment. All right. So I think that will bring us to the end of the meeting. Let me leave a chat.
So I have one last request, if you grant me.
Sure, ma. Sure, sure.
Okay. So if you've learned anything interesting from today, anything that you find mind blowing, please drop it online and tag me. I'll be really, really happy you did. My handle is at Mom in Chief on Baby Grub at Instagram and on X, and at Baby Grubs on Instagram and on X. And Sheon Shangoleya is the only Sheon Shangoleya on Facebook. There's no other Sheon Shangoleya on Facebook. So feel free to tag me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, the your audience have so much love for you, and
Ah,
I'm really sure they will do that. They will do that. We also share it with our mailing list, and we'll be sure that they share their insights with you on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook, and you will get them, man. Thank you so very much, man.
thank you.
Right, with this, we've come to the end of today's webinar. Thank you so very much to our YouTube audience for joining us. It's been a pleasure hosting you at this webinar. We'll be in communications with you via our mailing list, via our social media platform. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not, and hit the notification button so that you can be aware when we post any content on our channel. This will be all from my hand. Thank you so very much, our guest speaker. Thank you very much. It was a really short session, but it was full of so much insight. So much insight. Thank you very much for coming, and God bless you, ma. To every of our audience, thank you for showing up. It's a pleasure to host you, and do enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much. All right, thank you very much, man.